All right, so losing all your data, it's like a total nightmare. But instead of freaking out today, we're going to be like data protection superheroes.
Yeah.
We're diving into this Korean article. It's called 5 Technologies to Keep Your PC Data Safe, even if your PC crashes. And it's basically our guide to digital survival.
And it's cool because it's not just like one weird trick or something. It's like a whole layered strategy for keeping your data safe.
Yeah, I like that. So first up, let's talk about hardware. I think people think like, oh, my computer, it'll last forever, but you and I both know that's not exactly true.
Yeah. So this article starts out with the reality check that hard drives and SSDs, the actual physical things that store your data, can fail.
Oh, for sure.
And knowing how to replace them is like actually really important.
So it's more like when they'll fail, not if.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's kind of funny because like the newer M.2 drives, they're almost as easy to swap as a game cartridge. You just kind of pop them in.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But on the flip side, some manufacturers are making upgrades harder these days, which is kind of a bummer.
It's true. It's like they want you to just buy a whole new thing instead of fixing what you have. So what do you think for our listeners out there who, they want to be able to upgrade their computers? What should they look for when they're shopping for a new one?
Definitely do your research. Look for models that are known for being easy to upgrade. For example, framework laptops. They're getting more popular because they have this really cool modular design.
Okay.
It's like Legos. You can swap out different parts super easily, including the storage drive.
That's really neat. Okay, so hardware is important, but, I've got to say, backups aren't exactly the most exciting topic. How does this article make it more interesting?
Well, it does a great job of explaining the different levels of backups you can have.
Yeah.
Like we all know about those basic file backups, right?
Right.
Copying your important documents and photos to an external drive or using a cloud service. But the article goes deeper and talks about full partition backups, which are on a whole other level.
Okay, partition backups, those sound pretty intense. What's the difference?
It's like taking a snapshot of your entire computer, like everything, not just individual files.
Wow.
The operating system settings, the whole shebang. It's like a time capsule you can use to restore your computer to exactly how it was at that moment.
That's pretty amazing. But I bet there's a catch, right? Like these kinds of backups are probably a huge pain.
Yeah, well, the biggest challenge is the size. They can be massive, which means you need a lot of storage space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they also take longer to create. And they can be a bit more complicated to set up than those simple file backups.
Okay, so more effort equals more protection. I got it. All right, let's move on to something that sounds a bit more like a superhero gadget, the UPS.
UPS, the unsung hero of data protection.
Right. It's like a shield protecting your computer from all those nasty power problems.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what it does. It acts as a buffer between your precious computer and all the crazy stuff that can happen with electricity.
So I heard power surges and outages and all that.
Yep, all that. Instead of your computer being directly hit by those things, the UPS steps in and provides nice, clean, consistent power.
So it's like that moment when the lights flicker and you just hold your breath hoping your computer doesn't die.
Exactly.
Oh.
And one of the most important things it does is give you time to safely shut down your computer if the power goes out completely.
Oh, right.
This helps prevent data corruption, which can happen if the power just cut off suddenly.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm seeing a pattern here. It's all about layers of protection, right?
Right. You got it.
So we've talked about hardware backups and now our power shield, the UPS. What's next in our data protection toolkit?
Now we get to the part about protecting your data from like snoops and hackers. Imagine you lose your computer or someone steals it.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That's a pretty awful thought, right?
It is. That's like your whole life on there. Photos, financial stuff, everything.
Exactly. And that's where encryption comes in. It's like putting a digital lock on your data so no one can access it without the key. This article mentions Windows BitLocker as a good starting point, but it's worth, thinking about the different kinds of encryption out there.
Okay, so BitLocker's built in, which is handy. But what about people who want something more hardcore? What else is out there?
Oh, there are tons of third-party encryption tools out there. Some are super simple. Some are way more complex and customizable. You've got your symmetric encryption where the same key is used to encrypt and decrypt the data.
Okay.
And then there's asymmetric encryption, which uses a public key to encrypt and a private key to decrypt.
So choosing the right encryption is kind of like picking the right lock for your door, right?
Right.
But is there more to it than just picking a tool?
Definitely. Key management is super important. How you store and manage those encryption keys determines how secure your data really is. Like you could have the strongest lock in the world, but if you leave the key under the doormat,
Yeah, that's not very secure.
Exactly. It's the
Yeah.
same with encryption.
That's a great analogy. Okay, so we've got our hardware protected, our backups, set up a power shield to keep things running smoothly, and now we've got our data locked up tight with encryption. We're basically invincible now, right?
Almost. We've built a pretty solid fortress. But our digital lives aren't limited to our computers, right? We spend a lot of time online, and that comes with a whole new set of risks.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You're talking about online privacy, right? I have to admit, sometimes I feel like someone's watching me when I'm browsing the web. Am I just being paranoid or what?
I don't think it's paranoid. Your online activity is being tracked in all sorts of ways. Websites use cookies to gather data about you. Advertisers track your movements across different sites to build a profile of what you're interested in. And there's always the risk of someone trying to intercept your data.
That's kind of creepy. So how do we protect ourselves in this online jungle? What does the article recommend?
It talks about the importance of VPNs, virtual private networks. Think of it like a secret tunnel that encrypts your internet traffic and sends it through a server in a different location.
So it's like sending your data on a secret mission.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyone trying to spy on your activity will just see a bunch of gibberish and will know where it's going.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. But we talked earlier about how choosing the right encryption method is important. Is it the same with VPNs?
Absolutely. Not all VPNs are created equal. Some prioritize speed over security, while others have shady logging practices. It's really important to do your research and choose a provider you trust.
So picking a VPN is kind of like choosing a friend. You want someone who's got your back and won't betray your trust. It seems like the big takeaway here is to be informed, right?
I think so. This article isn't just about giving you a list of tools to use. It's about giving you the knowledge to understand those tools and make the best choices for your own needs.
Right. And that brings us to the last point in the article, securing your data while you're actually online. We all know to be careful about what we share on social media and to watch out for phishing scams, but this goes deeper than that.
Right. The article gets into the nitty-gritty of online security, focusing on the different types of VPN protocols.
Okay, so even on a technical level, not all VPNs are the same.
Nope. Some common protocols are BBTP, L2TP IPsec, and OpenVPN. They each have their own pros and cons in terms of speed, security, and what devices they work with.
So we have to pick the right VPN provider and understand the tech behind it too.
Exactly. Like PPTP is known for being fast, but it's not as secure. OpenVPN is considered really secure, but it can be a bit trickier to set up.
Wow, this is getting complicated. It sounds like a whole rabbit hole to go down.
It can be.
Mhm.
But the article gives us some good advice. It stresses that you should choose a provider that uses strong encryption, offers a kill switch feature, which protects your data if the VPN connection drops, and has a clear no-logs policy, meaning they don't keep track of what you do online.
Right. You wouldn't want to use a secure connection if the VPN provider is just going to keep records of everything you do online. We've covered a lot today, from hardware to backups to encryption and VPNs. This has been a real deep dive.
It has. And what's really cool is that the article shows how all these techniques work together. They're not just separate things. They're all part of a bigger strategy to keep your data safe.
Okay, so let's do a quick recap of the 5 main points from the article. First, hardware matters. Learn how to replace a drive if you need to.
Second, backups are your best friend. Find a backup method that works for you, whether it's simple file backups or those more intense partition backups.
Third, get yourself a UPS. It's like a guardian angel for your computer, protecting it from power problems.
Fourth, lock down your data with encryption. Pick a strong method and be smart about how you manage your keys.
And fifth, use a VPN to protect your privacy online. Do your research and find a trustworthy provider that uses good encryption and has a no-logs policy. So it's really about like a big picture approach to data protection, not just waiting for something bad to happen, but being prepared ahead of time.
Yeah, like building a defense system for your digital life.
Exactly. And that actually brings me to like a kind of weird thought I had based on this article.
Okay, I'm a list.
We've talked a lot about backups, right? But what if you had to like start over from scratch with only those backups? What do you think you'd miss? Like what would be the hardest thing to get back?
That's a really good question. It makes you realize that some stuff just can't be captured in a backup. You can restore your files and folders, but what about all those little things?
Yeah, totally. Like your browser bookmarks or your playlists or even just random notes you've written down over the years. They might not seem super important, but they're still a part of you.
It's like digital archaeology, trying to put the pieces of your online life back together. And some of those pieces are going to be lost forever. It kind of reminds you that the digital world isn't as permanent as we think it is.
That's a good point. We spend so much time protecting our data, but there's always a chance that something could go wrong. It makes you think about not just backing up your files, but also being more mindful of what you create online and how you use technology.
I agree. It's been really cool diving into this article with you. We've gone way beyond the technical stuff and talked about personal responsibility, the value of our digital memories, and how our relationship with technology is always changing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, on that note, we'll leave our listeners with those big questions to think about. Until next time, everyone, stay curious, stay informed, and stay protected.